Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. The show is about transforming lives one story at a time, and always so thrilled and honored to meet people from all walks of life making incredible changes in the world, making a positive impact in what they're doing. And I'm very excited to introduce Emily McMillan. She holds a PhD in the interdisciplinary human studies program from Laurentian University in Ontario, Canada, and her research was focused on achieving a better understanding of the manner in which forms of schooling shape a conscious, critical, and reflective attitude towards the environment. She holds a Bachelor of Science from the University of New Brunswick and a Master of Environmental Studies from Dalhousie University. And her extensive background in nonprofit environmental organizing has led to an interest in environmental values and links with attitudes and behaviors, educational reform, and public perception of environmental issues. She's the mom of 2 boys, age 4 and 7, and she's worked as the executive director of the Green Party of Canada for more than 7 years, including during its best election showing in history. And she's now the the executive director at Nature Canada. Emily, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here.
Awesome. I so appreciate it. Emily, you've got just an extensive background. It's just so inspiring. But please tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are right now as the Deputy Executive Director of Nature Canada.
Sure. Yeah, I've been very fortunate in my life to be able to just follow my passion. I like to say that I've never had a real job because I've always found work that was really in line with what I wanted to do with my life, and have just been really lucky to be paid for it a lot of the time. So I've been part of the environmental movement since I was a teenager, growing up in New Brunswick, and have just been incredibly fortunate to have had wonderful mentors along the way. That has just led me to where I am now at Nature Canada, and just continually trying to understand how do we improve the way humanity relates to nature and to improve the balance that we have as a society. So whether that's studying how education helps shape children's values toward the environment, or how do we engage members of the public in issues like the climate crisis, and now at Nature Canada, slightly shifting focus to the other crisis that we're also experiencing around loss of wildlife and loss of biodiversity. So I've had a long career in the environmental movement that feels more like a calling, and I've been extremely lucky to be able to follow that path.
Excellent, and it's so important and so fulfilling, when you fall into alignment of your purpose. And being part of Nature Canada, can you tell us about the organization and what is the main premise of what you do? What do you offer in the community?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nature Canada is one of Canada's longest running environmental charities. We've been around for more than 80 years. And we really refer to ourselves as the voice for nature. So a lot of what we do is speaking to decision makers at various levels of government to bring forward the point of view of nature, to say, what does nature need from our governments, from our legislation? So we do a lot of that work. We also work a lot with other nature groups around the country to support them in their activities. Sometimes that means supporting them in terms of getting children out into nature. Sometimes it means helping them reach decision makers on their local issues or wider things that they care about. So teaching, a hiking group how to lobby their local MP, which is maybe not something that they had in their original mandate, but now that they've realized that the places they like hiking in are in danger and they need to speak on their behalf. So we do a lot of training around that sort of work. Our most recent project is we're doing a lot of work in terms of social justice and recognizing equity as part of what we need to do in the conservation movement. And so we're working a lot on that front. And part of what we're doing is our new youth employment program called Work to Grow. Yeah, so we're a very varied group. We have a lot of different programs going on, but it's a lot of exciting work.
That's really exciting, and as an educator or former educator, my passion is helping youth, be better versions of themselves through mentoring offerings or education, and I love to hear when there are youth programs that are emerging. So can you describe a little bit more about the youth program that you have?
Yeah, for sure, and I'll say part of the genesis of this Work to Grow program was some research that we commissioned. Actually, before the pandemic started, we started this research talking to young people in urban areas about nature and how they felt about nature and their access to nature. And one of the themes that we heard out of that research was the real lack of people of color in nature organizations, in environmental groups' social media feeds, in their publications, and how that can really reinforce a feeling that space isn't welcoming. And so that was a real takeaway for us as Nature Canada to think hard about what can we do about that? What kind of actions can we take to really improve that? Because nature should be for everyone, and obviously there are many fronts to that issue, and including access to nature and making sure there's a lot of urban green space. But this particular program, Work to Grow, takes on this issue of representation. And so we've partnered with Parks Canada, who's funded the program, and we made a decision internally to it's a wage subsidy program, so we will provide 50% of the wages for any organization that wants to hire a young person to do nature-related work. And we decided to target it at BIPOC youth, so Black, Indigenous, people of color, to really get at the heart of that issue of representation in the environmental sector.
Fantastic.
And so part of what we're doing is then, of course, because we're ambitious and we like to do even more, we thought, what else can we do with this program? So we decided to really incorporate some community building, some workshops, and some networking opportunities for the youth. So the way it would work is an organization would apply. They will hire a young BIPOC youth. Nature Canada that will then provide some spaces for them to get together, to talk to each other, to share their experiences. And we're also bringing in leaders from around the environmental community to talk to the youth about their own experiences. And in addition to that, we're bringing in some career coaching, some networking training, resume building, that sort of thing, so that it's really a really holistic program.
Oh, that is amazing. And when did this start? When did it launch?
So we actually started building the program only this spring, and we officially signed all the paperwork in mid-June, but we've already got many organizations who've signed up, and we're in the midst of doing an ongoing launch. So people may hear our ads on the radio, for example, or we're doing some some other cool outreach. And anybody can apply right from now until the end of March next year.
End of March. Well, that's fantastic. And I'm not sure if you know, but I'm the immediate past president for the Ontario Black History Society. And that's one of our mandates is to reach youth in the Black community and to, provide them mentoring and such, wonderful opportunities as the one that you just shared with us. So I'd love to connect with you at a later time to see how we can share more of those resources in the community. Fantastic.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, because we're really, it's not a program just for nature groups. It's really for any organization who's doing nature-related work. So anything from a seniors home who's thinking it would be nice to have some nature walks with our people who live there, to a campground who's running an educational program, to a nonprofit who has a stream program or they're doing field work. It's very wide open in terms of what types of jobs are able to be funded by this program.
Yes, I hear the diversity, so that is excellent. Now, Emily, how has your life been transformed by pursuing this passion work that you're doing?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I feel like all I've ever really wanted to do in life was to make some kind of difference. And so this type of work really lets me feel like I'm doing something meaningful, and to meet so many other amazing people who are also on that same path of there is so much potential for humans as a species to create balance on this planet, and if we all work together, we can get there. It's a scary time right now when you look at what's happening around the world in terms of all these extreme climate events, even just the pandemic itself. It's easy to get overwhelmed and to feel like I'm just one person, what can I do? I can't do anything. But really, being a part of Nature Canada and being part of a program like Work to Grow, you realize how many other people are also working toward the same goals, and that you're really part of a wider movement, and that keeps us going and keeps us inspired to do it day after day.
Absolutely, and we're truly stronger together.
Exactly.
That is really amazing. Yes. Emily, I just want to thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your journey and what Nature Canada does and the amazing youth program offering that you have. I think this is a really fantastic time to get a part of that, participate in whatever is available through, through your network. So, again, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. And where can people locate you on social media if they want to maybe know more about your programs, maybe volunteer, sponsor?
Absolutely. You can go to our Nature Canada website, naturecanada.ca / work to grow, or you can just Google Work to Grow and it'll come up for you. And it's open for any organizations who have an interest in receiving this funding to hire a BIPOC youth. There's also a jobs board, so if any BIPOC youth are listening and are interested in applying for one of the jobs, also go to that website and you'll find a listing of all of the jobs that are available from all of our partner groups across Canada.
Excellent.
And also Emily, on Facebook, Nature Canada is on Facebook and we're on Instagram, so keep an eye out for us.
Okay, so you're available on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook. You've got your website, so definitely I'm sure you'll be getting a lot of, people reaching out to you. You have a fantastic program, and I definitely want to be able to support you and be able to connect you to other parts of my network so that the work can get out there. So I appreciate your time again. If there's anything else that I can do, don't hesitate to connect with me.
That's really great. Thank you so much, Nikki, and thank you for all that you are doing with this program. It's very inspiring.
Thank you so much. You've been listening to the Nikki Clarke Show with our very special guest, Emily, from the Executive Director of Nature Canada. Please connect with her on social media, the website, and just enjoy this journey and make a great change in the world. Emily, thank you. Stay safe, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
Bye for now.